Good evening, Your Excellency, the organizers of this wonderful event, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sheila Gohidi, and without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and read out the guidelines for the maiden edition of the 2019 Benue State Gubernatorial Debate. The all-important exercise will be carried out in the following format. All forms of communication at the gubernatorial debate shall be in English language. Candidates will be rolled out for the debate in alphabetical order. All candidates will respond to predetermined questions from the hosts and 2 random questions from the audience. Notably, candidates will have just 2 minutes to respond to each question asked. The gubernatorial debate shall be divided into 6 segments. Each will last for 20 minutes. That will be economy, security, education, health, agriculture, youth, and sports development. The candidates will be given 3 minutes each for their opening statements or manifesto before the debate begins properly. They are advised to press for specifics and be precise. The same lead-up questions will be asked to all candidates during the gubernatorial debate, but an open discussion will be maintained throughout each segment. Questioning will be conditioned in reverse orders at each segment. The audience shall remain silent so that we can concentrate on the candidates and what they're saying. They can, however, clap but not cheer or yell in the arena of the debate. Candidates shall be given 2 minutes each for their closing statements to wrap up the debate after questions have been exhausted. Thank you.
Barrister Nico Khaled is currently the only candidate present to participate in the maiden edition of the 2019 Benue State Gubernatorial Debate organized by One Nigeria. Like I already said, we are going straight into the debate, and we are going to begin with an opening statement / manifesto of the aspirant who is already seated. We wish to inform you that everything you are saying or not saying at this debate, you will take responsibility.
Just like you heard, my name is Barrister Caleb Terry Niwa. A citizen of the state, the indigenous of the state, of course. I'm from Guma local government, particularly from Bajumba, the Nongo Aziz. A lawyer by profession and an entrepreneur by birth, lawyer by training, entrepreneur by nature. So my life has been a cut across the 2 Azis. I've practiced professionally as a lawyer, and I've run a couple of business, worked with National Assembly, and recently resigned as an assistant manager at the Benue Investment and Property Company. I am the gubernatorial candidate of the African Action Congress in the next coming gubernatorial election in Benue State. My manifesto basically is a 1-point agenda manifesto. We call it the New Benue Manifesto, and it's just about one thing: build an independent economy for Benue State. Simple. Everything that we will be doing will center around building a viable, workable, active economy for Benue State. Actually, if you look at all the problems that we're having in this state, they are all traced back to poverty, down to witchcraft in the villages. So everything revolves around that. Talk about security issues, it relates to poverty. Talk about jealousy and other little social vices that we see, they relate back to poverty. Now, how do we solve this problem? We say we are going to create an economy. If you look at the map of Nigeria, socially and economically, we have only 2 commercial hubs in Nigeria. One is Lagos, and the other one is Kano. Both of them are in the extremes of the state, of the country. Lagos is in the extreme southwestern part of the country, very disadvantageous situation, location. The same thing with Kano, extreme part of northern Nigeria. Now the entirety of the middle of the country is lying fallow. There is no commercial hub in the middle of the country. And we intend to make Benue State the third commercial hub in Nigeria. How do we do that? We do that by concentrating on 5 sub-economies. One part will be agriculture. That will be the main focus. I don't need to talk much about agriculture in Benue State. We have the land, 30,800 square meters. That is larger and bigger than more than 100 countries around the world. There are about 100 countries around the world that don't have the landmarks that Benue State has. And then out of that 30,800 square meters, 90% of it is farmable. That is, it's arable. You can farm anything. But as we talk, less than 20% of that land is being put to use. So we can see, I don't need to emphasize so much about the potential of Benue State in agriculture. We've seen what Aperico and his administration did within 4 years. So we are going to lay so much emphasis on agriculture because agriculture will provide an immediate solution to the pressing needs that we have. The major emphasis will be not just on food production, but on food processing, adding value to it. So the emphasis of the government will be on creating the entire agro-value chain. The second emphasis will be commerce. We've seen what Dubai has done. Dubai is not really known for production. They are not very good with manufacturing, but they have presented themselves as the market of the world. So you produce whatever you produce in any part of the world, but if you need to sell it, you take it to Dubai. Now that is what Benue State is going to be. We are going to turn Benue State into the market.
Thank you. That was a beautiful opening statement. When you can see our panelists are very excited talking about a lot of things, but due to time constraints, we need to move forward. So we're starting with the first segment, which is economy. Yes, shortly before we ask that question, we are giving freedom to everyone who is here, who is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, to join the conversation. Your Excellency, Benue State is currently largely characterized by poverty and unemployment. What is your blueprint or action plan towards repositioning the economy of the state, towards providing jobs and achieving inclusive development? 2 minutes for your response.
So it seems I was already answering that part of the question. So you build agriculture sector, you build the commercial sector, you encourage information technology, you open up leisure and entertainment, and then you encourage services. Okay, fine. Everything is tough, and whoever is going to be the next governor of Benue State is going to face the challenge of capital. So how do we attract the people who have the money to help us build an economy that will solve this problem that we are talking about? First of all, we have to look at those things that people pay attention to. If you want to attract investors to a particular place, there are some certain things they want to look out for. Number one, they want to look at the long-term plan. I'm trying to answer the question. So the first thing is to create a vision for the state, a long-term vision for the state. I propose a 120 years plan for Benue State, divided into 3 segments of 40 years each. That means in the first 40 years, Benue State will be on a constant journey. No deviation, no distraction, no politicking. It will be specific of what should be achieved every 4 years. This will be something that will be agreed by the people through plebiscite and legislated upon, passed into law, and it becomes a consistent thing. That means in the next 10 administrations to come, or for 4 years, everybody that is coming in to actualize what has already been agreed by the people of Benue State. That is number one. Number two is to build infrastructure. If you want people to come in, you have to make sure that the infrastructures are there. Number three is to make sure that there is a flow-free administrative system in Benue State. That when people bring in their money, they will not be killed by red tapeism and bureaucracy and the rest of them. The next thing is the legal system. Is to build a legal system for the state. When people are bringing in their money, they want to be protected. They want to see that there is a system on ground that can protect their interests. And in any case, the terms of the agreement are violated, their interests and their monies are protected. So the first thing is to build institutions. The second thing is to create economic activities and give Benue State a direction. Thank you.
That question very, very brilliantly. You made mention of a 120-year plan. So I don't know how you plan implementing that 120-year plan, because I feel that this plan actually is going to cover many years after your tenure must have elapsed. So I don't know, what do you plan to do differently to sustain this 120-year plan you spoke about?
When I took over Benue State was just 3 years old, and it belonged to it was a part of the southern part of Benue Plateau State, and then Benue Axis was ignored. So when they took over power, there was the problem of how to solve the immediate problems as well as create a long-term plan. And that was what they did. It is the same template I'm bringing back to life. So when I propose 120 years plan, of course, I'll probably not even be alive, or anybody in this world will be alive to see it. That is why I say the 120 years plan will be divided into 3 segments of 40 years each. Are we together? Now, how do we get this thing to be sustainable? First of all, it has to be a law, so that subsequent people coming in will not change it. But how do you come to such a law? It has to be the will of the people. Hello? Okay. It has to be the will of the people. That's why I mentioned plebiscite. That means I, the governor, is going to orchestrate a situation where all the people of Benue State will participate. Items will be created, and people will agree. Yes, we agreed on this. We don't disagree. We disagree with this, and then it will be collected into one single document, and we can say that we, the people of Benue State, have agreed that from now till the next 120 years, this is the direction of which we can be going. That means even when candidates are campaigning, they will only be campaigning as to how they will make that happen, and not what they will bring into existence, because the people of Benue State have already determined what they want. Now, the advantage of that is that it becomes easy for people who have the money to come into the state. If you know this, our government has been going around trying to lobby people, bring them into the state for investment. MOUs have been signed, but nobody came. Those are the issues. One, there's no long-term plan. Now, if I am going to bring my own money in, and I'm pretty sure that worst case scenario, 8 years, you're gone. So what happens to my investment? Maybe my investment is going to take 20 years before I'll start reaping the benefits. And by that time, you're not going to be there. But if there is a state long-term plan, that person is investing on the strength of that long-term plan. And everybody has this. If you look at all the successful companies of the world, like Toyota and Honda, they have more than 100 years plans. Just private companies, not to talk of a state. We don't have direction. That is our major problem. So it is very visible. It's very, very applicable as long as it is coming from the people. And I'm very sure that the people of Benue State are yearning for such a thing like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As a lawyer who understands basically that bills that turn into laws are actually enacted by state assemblies or other levels of legislatures in Nigeria, how do you intend to ensure that this 120 years plan, which of course you have clearly said you wish to achieve by way of enacting a law to make sure future leaders not deviate from how, is there any provision in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or any of the bylaws in the state that allows you to be able to make a law that would force other leaders who take over after you left office of 7-8 years, that you get you elected, to comply with? And if that type of law does not exist, do you hope to get a referendum to prove this true?
So my role as a governor, first of all, is to sell the idea to the people. Is to sell the idea to the people, convince the people on the viability of the plan, the importance of the plan to the progress of the state. Now, when you do that, of course, you put up a team together that will put up the document. They go from local government to local government, traditional council to traditional council, council ward to council ward, and get people to deliberate on these issues.
some of the things they may not be comfortable with, and we'll remove them, make adjustment. It's going to be a slow process. And of course, there's going to be a lot of political intrigue. Some people will not love that. But you are setting a new standard in leadership. That is the implication. Because it means that whoever is coming in to rule Benue State after that is going to be somebody who is deep enough to understand what we're talking about and who has the ability to execute the content of that law. You have raised the bar of leadership. Automatically, some certain people will be excluded from contending for leadership in Benue State. That way, we become a serious people. So, specifically answering your question, the state actually has the liberty to make laws. But a complex situation like this will require the law coming from the people. And you can see from the reaction when I presented the idea, it shows that the people are actually ripe for something like that. If companies, little companies, are having long-term plan, then how come a whole state does not even have a 10-year plan?